better than that. How are you today? There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Monterey County's final competition for Poetry Out Loud. My name is Garland Thompson. I'll be your host and MC today, so I'll be introducing the poets and walking us through this whole thing and basically kind of helping you experience the poets today. First, let me give you a quick overview of what Poetry Out Loud is. Poetry Out Loud is what's known as a national recitation contest, as in reciting poetry. This is a program that was founded by Dana Gioia, former poet laureate, or current poet laureate of California, and also former chairman of the National Endowment of the Arts. When he was at the National Endowment of the Arts, he wanted to do something with poetry more than what was being done, and he happened to remember that his grandmother used to read him poetry at night, used to read him poems all the time. And these moments with his grandmother, when she would recite these poems by heart to him, were just so incredible, and he felt there had to be some way that our young people today could experience that. So he came up with Poetry Out Loud. And what it is, it's a contest where students will pick poems from a guide that has been put together of over about 600 poems put together by the National Endowment for the Arts. They will then learn those poems. They'll spend a couple of weeks in the classroom. They will learn those poems working with their teacher. They will learn them by heart. They will study them. They will break them down. They'll understand them with the idea that they're going to perform them in a competition. The competition starts in the classroom, moves on to the school, then moves on to the county, then moves on to the state, and then finally ends up in Washington, D.C., where 50 state winners will be appearing in Washington, D.C., competing against one another for the top 3 prizes. The top prize, of course, is a $20,000 scholarship to college. $10,000 is the second prize, and $5,000 is the third prize. There's also other prizes along the way for schools that compete. There are prizes at the state level, and there are prizes at the county level, and there are also prizes that the schools get as well. At the state level, the schools will receive funding as part of the winner's package. They will receive funding to purchase books of poetry for their students. So it's not just the winner themselves that's getting prizes and getting feted, but also the schools are given more resources to bring poetry to the students. It is a very worthwhile program. To date, hundreds of thousands, and I do mean this, hundreds of thousands of high school students in the United States and all of the 50 states have done this. And the program now is, I think, going on about 10 years old, 10 or so years old. I found out about it by listening to National Public Radio one day in my car as I was driving home from teaching a class. I pulled over immediately and I called Paulette Lynch, the president of our local Arts Council for Monterey County. By the way, can we get a round of applause for the Arts Council for Monterey County? And Paulette Lynch and Karen Lee Garcia, our volunteer, our coordinator. I got Paulette on, told her about the program, and I said, Paulette, we have to bring this program to Monterey County. And my dream has been since the start, and the Arts Council has shared this dream with me, is to get all the county high schools involved in this. I think we have about 16 or so in the dream. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're working on it. And that's the dream, though. What happens now is the students who will be performing and competing today all have won their school competitions, which is they've won the right to represent their school in our Monterey County competition. We will be picking our Monterey County champion today, and that person will be sent onward to Sacramento in March to perform and compete in the state finals. And then that competition will determine who the state winner is, who goes on to Washington, D.C. So there's a lot going on here. There's definitely a lot going on here. The state competition is an amazing thing. It happens in Sacramento in the State House of Legislature, the State Legislature House. So the kids are actually sitting in the seats that our state representatives are sitting in when they're conducting the people's business. So it's a very exciting thing. Plus they get tours of the state. They get huge dinner parties thrown for them. They're treated like rock stars. So it's a great experience all around. But despite all the prizes and everything, what I tell the students who participate in this is that just by stepping up to the plate, just by going through the process, just by breaking down the poems, learning them, and figuring out how to recite them best, they are already winners. No matter where they end up with the prizes and all of that, that's one thing, but they are already winners because what they will have learned in the process, and this is very important, what they will have learned in that process are skills that they will be able to take with them through the rest of their lives and will serve them very, very well. And that's really what it's all about, as well as engendering a love for poetry. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Let me introduce you to our judges, and I'll talk just a brief bit about how the scoring works. We've got a very fine panel of judges today. We're going to start off with Miss Susan Breen. She serves as the, give her a round of applause, please. She serves as the chair on the board of directors of the Arts Council for Monterey County. She's also involved in professional artists in the schools and a number of other nonprofits and volunteer work. She's an incredible person, and we're very glad to have her. Thank you, Susan. We've got Holly Byers Ochoa. Please give Holly a round of applause. Holly is a retired English teacher, historian, writer, and editor, and she currently represents the CSUMB President's Office as a volunteer on 3 campus committees, not just 1, but 3, as well as serving on the boards of another 3 community nonprofits and various other incredible community work. Thank you very much for being with us, Holly. Marilyn Vieira holds degrees in fine arts and art history from Santa Clara University and UC Davis. While raising a family in Hawaii, she worked in arts education programming and as a classroom teacher. She is very glad to be here, and we are very glad to have her. Give it up for Marilyn. Another dear friend is on our judging panel today. I'm speaking, of course, of our good man, Eric Mora, who works at the National Steinbeck Center. Give him a round. He works as their marketing and community outreach coordinator, serves on the board of directors of the Arts Council for Monterey County, and he has organized for the last 3 years countywide community reading projects with support from the National Endowment of the Arts. He's a very valuable resource to our community. Thank you for being here, Eric. And lastly, last but certainly and definitely not least, this man, ever since I met him, he's been taking the county by storm. Ernesto Altamirano. Give him a round of applause, please. He comes from the world of broadcast media, but his passion has always been the arts. He became an award-winning nationally published poet at age 18, but it took him 20 years to launch his passion project, an arts and culture website for bilingual Latinos. Check it out. It's an incredible website. He serves our community very well and not just reports on what's going on here in the community, but also nationally and internationally to bring us news of what's going on to keep us informed here. Please give Ernesto another round of applause. They'll be judging today on various criteria. They'll be judging, and I'm doing this by top of my head, so I'm not going to go through it all, but they'll be judging on persona, performance, stage presence, vocal articulation. We have an accuracy judge who will be following along to make sure that the poets read word for word. This is a very important thing. They have to read word for word. They cannot paraphrase. They cannot add words. They can't, even if you add an in there, that can cause an issue and cause you to lose points. So it's very important that they stay accurate. They'll also be judged on their understanding of the poem. How much do they really understand that? And how much is coming across to us? So those are a couple of the things. If you'd like to find out a little bit more detail about the judging, go to poetryoutloud.org and you'll be able to look up the judging criteria there and you'll get the whole rundown there. That said, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're ready to have some poetry. Are you guys ready to hear some poetry? Are you guys ready to hear some poetry? There we go. Well then, let's begin. We're going to have performances, 2 rounds of performances by our 2019 first runners-up. Now the first runner-up is a very important position because although they will not be competing in the if our winner, our county champion, for some reason cannot go to the state championships, the first runner-up in today's competition will go and represent Monterey County instead. So the first runner-up spot, it's a tough spot too. So we're going to have 2 rounds, and we're going to start off with From Alisal High School, doing a poem by Edgar Albert Guest, It Couldn't Be Done, Samantha Ruelas. Come on up, Samantha. Yes.
It Couldn't Be Done by Edgar Albert Guest. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he, with a chuckle, replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled right in with a trace of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, "Oh, you'll never do that. At least no one ever has done it." But he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing we knew, he'd begun it. With the lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it, he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands that tell you it cannot be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin. Just take off your coat and go to it. Just starting to sing as you tackle the thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it.
Beautiful. Samantha Ruelas, Alisal High School. Beautiful job. Beautiful, beautiful job. Let's bring up our next runner-up. These, by the way, are non-judge performances. So let's hear now from Pacific Grove High School, Juliana Heritage.
The Obligation to Be Happy by Linda Paston. It is more onerous than the rights of beauty or housework, harder than love. But you expect it of me casually, the way you expect the sun to come up, not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were hidden vice. That downward tug on my mouth, my old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies. No more than laughter in the warm dark, strangled at dawn. Happiness. I try to hoist it on my narrow shoulders again. A knapsack heavy with gold coins. I stumble around the house, bump into things. Only Midas himself would understand.
Beautiful. Juliana Heritage, Pacific Grove High School. And now, at the end of round one, let's hear from Soledad High School, Yesenia Jimenez Herrera.
Played Unplugged by Tim Sabels. It's true. I almost never smile, but that doesn't mean I'm not in love. My heart is that black violin played slowly. You know that moment in the solo when the voice is so pure, you can feel the blood in it. The wound between rage and complete surrender. That's where I'm smiling. You just can't see it. The sound bleeding perfectly inside me. The first time I killed a vampire, I was sad. I mean, we were almost family, but that was so many lives ago. I believe in the cry that cuts into the strings. The strings pulling me back to the forgotten world. When I think of the madness that has made me and the midnight, I walk inside all day long. When I think of that one note that breaks what's left of what's human in me, man, I love everything.
Yesenia Jimenez Herrera. Wonderful. That concludes round one, our warm-up. I'd like to just take a quick moment to say thank you to our sponsors, for whom which we could not be here. I'd like to give it up for the California Arts Council, the National Endowment for the Arts, Poetry Foundation, of course, the Arts Council for Monterey County, and also we want to say special thanks to the CSUMB Office of the President, CSUMB Hospitality Student Volunteers, as well as the folks who let us be here in this wonderful Alumni and Visitors Center here at CSUMB. Please give them all a round of applause. And now let's move on to round two. We've got two more poems for you. Let's hear once again from Alisal High School, Samantha Ruelas.
I Felt a Funeral in My Brain by Emily Dickinson. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service, like a drum, kept beating, till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift the box and creak across my soul with those same boots of lead again. Then space began to toll, as all the heavens were a bell, and being but an ear and eye and silence, some strange race wrecked solitary here. And then a plank in reason broke, and I dropped down and hit a world at every plunge and finished knowing then.
Beautiful. Samantha Ruelas. Wonderful work. And now let's hear once again from Pacific Grove High School, Juliana Heritage.
Tamer and Hawk by Tom Gunn. I thought I was so tough, but gentled at your hands. Cannot be quick enough to fly for you and show that when I go at your command. Even in flight above, I am no longer free. You sealed me with your love. I am blind to other birds. The habit of your words has hooded me. As formerly, I wheel, I hover, and I twist, but only want the feel, and my possessive thought of catcher and of caught upon your wrist. You, but half civilized, taming me in this way. Through having only eyes for you, I fear to lose. I lose to keep and choose. Tamer as prey.
Beautiful. Wonderful. That's, once again, Juliana Heritage, Pacific Grove High School. And that concludes round two of the performances by our first runners-up. I want to take another quick moment here before we start the competition to acknowledge a couple more folks. I'd like to please acknowledge once again, if we would, our wonderful performing artist today, Jessica Lejeune. Can we give her a round of applause, please? Thank you. Also, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the teachers who are responsible for helping these wonderful students be here today to perform in this competition. I am talking, of course, our teachers from Alisal High School, Pacific Grove High School, and Soledad High School. From Alisal, we've got Natalie Bernasconi and Ignacio Mendez. Let's give them a round of applause. From Pacific Grove High School, we have now Dr. Larry Hagquist. Give it up for Larry. Dr. Hagquist, shall I say. And from Soledad High School, Azir Wilson. Please give it up for Azir. Give her a round of applause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've done all of our housekeeping and said thank you to everybody we need to say thank you to. We're all properly warmed up, I believe. So it's now time to start the competition. Yes? Oh, our photographer. I need to say something about our photographer. Yes. Iris Rivas. Please give it up for Iris Rivas, our photographer. There she is. Sorry, Iris. I didn't mean to forget you. Got to have photographers. You always have to have photographers. Thank you, Susan. All right. Are we ready to do this now, people? All right, let's do this then. Please welcome up your very first competitor and performer in round one of the judged performances from Alisal High School, Angela Hernandez.
Inside Out by Diane Wachowski. I walk the purple carpet into your eye, carrying the silver butter server, but a truck rumbles by, leaving its black tire prints on my foot and old images. The sounds of banging screen doors on hot afternoons, and a fly buzzing over the Kool-Aid spilled on the sink, flicker as reflections on the metal surface. Come in, you said. Inside your paintings, inside the blood factory, inside the old songs that line your hands, inside eyes that change like a snowflake every second, inside spinach leaves holding that one piece of gravel, inside the whiskers of a cat, inside your old hat, and most of all, inside your mouth where you grind the pigments with your teeth, painting with a broken bottle on the floor, and painting with an ostrich feather on the moon that rolls out of my mouth. You cannot let me walk inside you too long, inside the veins where my small feet touch bottom. You must reach inside and pull me like a silver bullet from your arm.
Angela Hernandez, Alisal High School. All right, we'll give the judges a moment to mark down their numbers on their worksheets. Coming up next will be Matthew Mendez from Pacific Grove High School. So hang on a second, Matthew, once I get the go-ahead. And then after Pacific Grove High School, we'll hear from Soledad High, Julissa Hernandez. How are we doing, judges? We good? Yes? All right, let's move on then. Please welcome to the microphone Matthew Mendez, Pacific Grove High School.
El Olvido by Judith Ortiz Cofer. It is a dangerous thing to forget the climate of your birthplace, to choke out the voices of dead relatives when in dreams they call you by your secret name. It is dangerous to spurn the clothes you were born to wear for the sake of fashion. Dangerous to use weapons and sharp instruments you are not familiar with. Dangerous to disdain the plaster saints before which your mother kneels, praying with embarrassing fervor that you survive in the place you have chosen to live. A bare, cold room with no pictures on the walls. A forgetting place where she fears you will die of loneliness and exposure. Jesus, Maria y Jose, she says. El olvido is a dangerous thing.
Matthew Mendez, Pacific Grove High School. Very strong. I am consistently, every year that I do this, I'm involved with this, I'm consistently impressed by the performances that our students give. Angela, Sarah, Matthew, all of them, they're just doing wonderful work. So thank you all for all the great work that you put into this. Judges, how are we doing here? Guys ready over there? All right. Please welcome our final performer for round one from Soledad High School, Julissa Hernandez.
Acquainted with the Night by Robert Frost. I have been one acquainted with the night. I have walked in and out of rain, and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat, and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet. And far away. Came over houses from another street.
Give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen. We'll discuss with the, yes, would everyone be all right with giving her a second chance if she's got a moment to get herself together? Would that be all right, or should we move on? Is that all right to do that? Are we legal to do that? We can move on. All right, let's move on then. Please, well, that was the end of actually round one. That was Julissa Hernandez. Big round of applause for all of them. I also would like to take a moment to recognize, before we get into our final round here, take a moment to recognize the families, the parents and the families of our students who have supported them through this and who support them in their pursuit of the arts in school and support them all around. Can we please have a big round of applause for the families, the parents, moms, dads, the abuelos, grandmothers, grandfathers. Thank you. All right, Julissa will not be reading in round two, so we have two performers. That will be Angela Hernandez and Matthew Mendez. So let's go ahead and get started. Please welcome, once again from Alisal High School, Angela Hernandez.
Pilgrims by Jacob Shores Arguello. Costa Rica. The bus arrives in the orchid heat, in the place where coffee grows like rubies in the valley's black soil. We disembark, walk in twos so we don't slip on the Genesis mud. The woman next to me carries 3 cell phones as gifts for cousins and a bucket of chicken to share. How is it that I have come this far with nothing? That I am empty-handed in this country of blessings? procession of rust-colored macaws glides above us. Their ashy shadows draw crosses onto all of our heads.
Angela Hernandez, Alisal High School. And now for round two, let's hear once again from Pacific Grove High School, Matthew Mendez.
Sacuán Papolotl by Brenda Cardenas in memory of Jose Antonio Burciaga, 1947 to 1996. We are chameleons. We become chameleon. Jose Antonio Burciaga. We are space between the black-orange blur of a million monarchs on their two-generation migration south to Fur Crown, Michoacan, where tree trunks will sprout feathers, a forest of paper-thin wings. Our Mexica, cocooned in the membranes de la Madre Tierra, say we are reborn, Sacuán Papolotl, mariposas negras y anaranjadas, in whose sweep the dead whisper. We are between the flicker of a chameleon's tail that turns his desert blue backbone to jade or pink sand, the ashen dawn silvering dusk, la oración as it leaves the lips, the tug from sleep, the glide into dreams that husk out mestizo memory. We are one life passing through the prism of all others, gathering color and song, cempasúchil and drum, to leave a rhythm scattered on the wind. Dust tinting the tips of fingers as we slip into our new light.
Pacific Grove High School, Matthew Mendez. Wonderful work. Well, that's round one and round two, ladies and gentlemen. So now it's up to the judges to do their thing. They're going to give us a score here. Okay, great. So we're going to hear, while we're getting our scores tallied up, we'll hear once again from Jessica Lejeune. She'll play some more for us. So enjoy some more music. wonderful player, great smile, just a fun person. All right. Well, we've done it. We've figured out who gets what. And but before we get to that, I want to let you know that we have been streaming this live, and you can find it on YouTube, so you can actually go on your iPhones or your Android phones and find us. If you go to facebook.com and go to the Poetry Out Loud page, you'll be able to find the link there. And in fact, one of our judges, Ernesto Altamirano, has already been posting play-by-plays for it, so you'll be able to read up about that. It's very nice pictures. Thank you very much. He posted. I also want to let you know that he will be writing about us and posting about us on his website, which is latino-edge.com. So definitely go check that out and post a comment. Let him know if you were here and just say hi to Ernesto. Read his stuff. He's really good. He's got a lot of really good stuff there. That said, ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for all of your performers, all of your poets today, all of your students. They all did wonderful work. And as I said, they are all winners, all of them. No matter where anybody places in the competition, no matter who gets what, they are all winners. You went through the program, you went through the process, you did the work, you gave us the work here, you're already a winner. Okay? You're already a winner. We have something for everybody, though. Everybody's going to walk away with something here, so nobody goes home empty-handed. Let's bring them up one at a time. First of all, give it up for Juliana Heritage from Pacific Grove High School. Come on up, Juliana. Juliana gets a wonderful, let's take a look. Actually, I haven't even seen this. You mind if we pull it out and look at it? All right, let's see what you got here. I know there's a gift card in here for you, right? And then we've got this wonderful award here for her. This is all yours. Here you go, Juliana. Juliana Heritage, Pacific Grove High School. And you got a gift card in there, too. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. And don't go anywhere, because we're going to call all you guys up at the end of the show to get your pictures taken, okay? From Soledad High School, give it up for Yesenia Jimenez Herrera. And here's your lovely award. Whoa. Oh. There we go. There you are. What do you think? Like it? Is it? You deserve it. You earned it. Go ahead and hold it up so they can take your picture. And you also get a gift card.
Thank you.
Right. This, for me, is one of the best parts of the whole job, giving prizes away. From Alisal High School, give it up for Samantha Ruelas. You did a wonderful job. Wonderful, wonderful job. And here you go, Samantha. Oops. Oops. All right. Good job, Samantha. Very good job. She brought a wonderful exuberance to her readings, you know? There was just a lovely quality, a happiness. It was like, usually a lot of students pick poems that are kind of hard and depressing, and life is hard, but you gave us joy in life, and that was wonderful. Thank you for your choices. And let me just say also, the choices of the poems today have been outstanding, really outstanding. Sometimes there are some poems that people pick, Robert Frost and some various other writers, that we literally will hear 12 times in a competition. But you guys didn't do that, so good job, good job. Now we get to give away the prizes. This is our, oh actually, wait a minute, not quite yet. Oh no, I am in the prizes, I am, okay. Go. Our second runner-up for today's Poetry Out Loud competition from Monterey County, from Soledad High School, Julissa Hernandez. Julissa, where is she? She is here. We're gonna make sure she gets this. She is still here somewhere. It was tough. It was tough. It's tough to go through what she went through, but she handled it with finesse and with class and with style, and she really did very well. So thank you very much, and thank you to her teachers for that. Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Thank you. Quite a rock. Our first runner-up is from Alisal High School, Angela Hernandez. Come on up here, Angela. Angela also gets a gift card. And here is your wonderful prize. There you go. And we'll have a moment for the family and friends to take photos also with them afterwards. And now that leaves us with our final prize to be given away. Our winner for the 2019 Monterey County Poetry Out Loud competition. This is the person who will be representing Monterey County at the state competitions in Sacramento. Will be treated like a rock star. From Pacific Grove High School, give it up for Matthew Mendez. Matthew Mendez. You're very welcome, Matthew. Come on up, everybody. Let's have all of our students come on up. Don't go anywhere, Matthew. Let's bring them all up. Come on up here, all of you. All of you, come on up here. Julissa, Sarah, come on up here. We're going to take a nice group bow here. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your Monterey County Poetry Out Loud champions. Please give them a round of applause. And if you guys want to take pictures, this is a good time. And let's move the microphone out of the way. And get some pictures. Bravo. And I'm going to sneak in. Can I sneak in? Can I sneak in? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that does it. Thank you so much for coming out today. Again, thank you to the parents. Thank you to the parents. Thank you to the family for supporting your children and supporting arts in the schools. It is very important. Please, anything you can do to help support arts in the schools, please do it. This will benefit your children and will benefit society as a whole, because this is not about creating necessarily the next rock star, the next Beyonce or Jay-Z, as much as we'd love to. What it's really about is creating well-rounded individuals who have the skills to go out into the world and be critical thinkers and be incredible members of society that take us all forward, and we all benefit from their wonderful presence on this earth. That's just what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful afternoon. Congratulations. Congratulations, Matthew.
Please enjoy the rest of the refreshments that are here. Thank you all.
Yes. Also, ladies and gentlemen, before you go, please, let's give a huge round of applause for our two wonderful Arts Council from Monterey champions. We've got Karen Lee Garcia, our Arts and Education Director, and of course, Paulette Lynch, our Executive Director. We couldn't do half of what we do without these two people here, so give them a lot of love. Thank you, ladies. Y'all are awesome.